about Sacred Heart around Christmas time, and we decided to support Sacred Heart financially. And we moved out of the area, and when we came back in 1997, I was looking for a volunteer opportunity that I could do with our children, who were 6 and 9 years old at the time. And there was an ask for a gleaner, and so that summer, the kids and I would go to Safeway every Wednesday morning and fill up the car and deliver it to Sacred Heart, and that was our first introduction to volunteering here.
Yeah, the car would be so full you could not see the children. There'd be bread all the way around. It was a station wagon too, so it was just stuffed. It was pretty funny to see every Wednesday or something like that.
Yeah, every Wednesday.
Yeah, it was hilarious, but it was a great introduction.
When I first came to Sacred Heart, it was, 2002 or 2003, and I came to help my grandma with volunteering in the Welcome Center, or more so preparing for the week on the weekends with the slips that they had at the time. My earliest memory at Sacred Heart was stamping these slips that they used to use in the Welcome Center, and if I remember correctly, they were blue, but since I was so little, I didn't really have a formal volunteer job like other volunteers, so I just sat next to my grandma and stamped slips for a little bit, and that's the earliest memory that I have.
One of my favorite Sacred Heart's memory, it's really a realistic one, is when I was working the front counter in the pantry, and a customer came up and he asked, I just became homeless, I don't really know what to do. So that was kind of like, yuck. and I just try to treat him like what they always taught us at Sacred Heart, treat your customer with dignity and respect, and that's what we try to do. And that was my favorite story, to realize that, hey, there's a lot of hardship and sadness that can be in the South Bay, but there can be a happy ending with regard to being able to supply this gentleman food, okay, and, assistance.
I have volunteered at Sacred Heart for 21 years, and so I went from being a cleaner to working in the pantry, and now every Wednesday morning I'm at the Welcome Center, the Stripe Station. It's great because I get to interact with the customers, and that was a big difference from working back in the pantry where you don't get as much interaction with the customers. So I really enjoy being up front. In those 21 years, I have volunteered in those various areas, but our son also did his Eagle Scout project here at Sacred Heart, and our daughter did her high school senior service project here. And although they both live in Boston now, they look forward to coming and helping with the Christmas toy distribution when they are in town. So it's been a whole family activity, not just me, but it's nice to see all of us be involved at Sacred Heart over the years.
I was really happy to find out that there was a group at Sacred Heart to try to reach out to the customers beyond just giving them what we call essential services, food, clothing, job training, and reaching out to possibly be advocates for the customers at Sacred Heart for housing. There's a large quantity of people that are homeless, okay, that are couch surfers, and I know that we make a lot of bags of food for those people in the pantry, okay, besides our cooking bags that people have cooking facilities. And there's just such an outreach that we can do for not only just the homeless, but for people for affordable housing in the San Jose area.
My experience as a participant was definitely life-changing for me. I grew up right around the corner from Sacred Heart, about a block away, and at the time there was a lot of gang activity. It was a very high crime area. It's gone down a bit now, but back then it was much worse. I remember there were way more shootings and things like that. So there didn't really feel like there was a safe space in this area at all for me, besides my own house. So to have a place and a center like Sacred Heart just meant so much to me, especially at that age. I felt like I was safe and that there was so much more to this area and to this community than the crime. You know, there were people here who were experiencing the same things, and so for me, being a participant was just life-changing to see, like, okay, I'm not the only one going through this. People want to fight for justice and things like that. When I started volunteering, you know, the reason I even came back to volunteer is because of what Sacred Heart did for me, and so I knew that I was investing my time in something that's, you know, life-changing for other people, so I wanted to, you know, continue that. And I realized, you know, I have a special kind of perspective because I have been a customer myself, and not many volunteers that come through these doors can say that, let alone employees, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I definitely think that being a volunteer and employee, I have this really valuable view on things, and I know what it's like to be on the other side of the line, and I know that sometimes shame comes with that, but being a volunteer and now an employee, I've really owned my story, and I really thank Sacred Heart for even helping me get to this place.
I think it gets back to knowing Sacred Heart is a dependable resource in our valley, that is so well run that it is it's here for the people that need it. They know they can count on services at Sacred Heart, and when you see that your money being well used, it gives you the confidence to give more and continue to give.
Yeah, you get that one-to-one connection to you can give money to a lot of different charities, but if you don't have that one-to-one connection, if you don't have that human touch, so to speak, I don't think it's as rewarding. I think the reward here is we see people in the hall that we can have eye contact with, have a conversation with, and know that we're impacting them in a positive way. It may not be much, but it probably makes for a better day for them. If you can make a better day for them, that's pretty cool.
Everyone that works in the education program wants to see you succeed, and we've built so many close relationships with so many families here, so I wish more people knew that it's not just emergency relief services here, or the education program's not just doing this little tidbit until you're graduated and in high school or college. Like, it continues on, and it's this lifelong investment. Like, everyone here is invested in their students succeeding, and then also beyond just their time here as a student. They want you to come back and volunteer. They want you to come back and speak to the kids about your experience and how far you've come, because we know we have a lot of success stories within the program.
I've seen a big focus on not only delivering, which I mentioned before, essential services, food, clothing, but also to reach out to the community, to community gardens through the Mesa Verde program, Sacred Heart Asset Action Committee, SHAC, for affordable housing, some social justice areas, issues regarding immigration. So we really see an outreach in the community just above and beyond just a small little place that hands out food and clothes to their customers. So it's a really community involvement, and it's not only just the volunteers, but it's the actual customers that get involved also, and that's what I really enjoy too.
We have so much to be thankful for, and we feel it's our responsibility to give a hand to others. And if everyone just gave a little bit of their time and talent, this would be close to it.
And you really feel that there's a sense of a community and, dare I say, family, but it really truly does feel like a family here, and we are building these amazing connections and networks between people that I don't think would be there without the work that's done here at Sacred Heart.